Under fire for not being able to back its promises of job creation, the government and the BJP has repeatedly cited the success of its MUDRA scheme that is meant to promote lending to small businesses. Now, BJP President Amit Shah recently said that in the 2 years since MUDRA has been in existence, it has made over 7 crore people self-employed by lending lakhs of crores of rupees. But the head of MUDRA told NDTV that there is no estimate yet of how many jobs the scheme has actually created. We investigate whether MUDRA has brought in jobs revolution, or has the government actually been passing off an ongoing process, lending by banks to the poor, as a major breakthrough.
The lakhs and crores of rupees being lent is not from MUDRA per se. MUDRA is what is known as a refinance bank. In other words, it's meant to lend money to those who are lending to the poor and to coordinate these efforts. So who's then doing the actual lending? Banks and microfinance institutions, or MFIs, who lend small amounts to the poor.
According to the MUDRA website, MFIs lent 45,904 crore rupees in 2015 and 56,837 crore rupees in 2016. So that's an increase of 23.8%. Impressive amounts until you look at the previous few years. MFI disbursals were already rising from 23.5 thousand crore rupees in 2014 to 37.5 thousand crore rupees in 2015, growing by 55%.
Let's now look at banks, where a similar pattern seems to be emerging.
Banks lending under MUDRA have grown from 86,000 crore rupees to 1.28 lakh crore rupees, a growth that is 49%. But banks too have been lending pre-MUDRA in sizable amounts. What we found is that in 2013, banks had 1 lakh crore of outstanding small loans. That jumped 50% to 1.5 lakh crore rupees in financial year 2014.
From all this, from a crunching of the numbers and even from anecdotal evidence on the ground, what emerges is that MUDRA is at best an attempt to closely monitor and collate data from banks and microfinance institutions of lending under 10 lakhs. But is MUDRA a job-creating revolution, as the ruling party and the government seems to try and sell it as? That seems far from clear. I spoke earlier to Gigi Marman, who's the CEO of MUDRA. He spoke to us from MUDRA's office in Mumbai, and I began by asking him again that same concern, that Mr. Marman, it appears that essentially you seem to be palming off old wine in a new bottle. What exactly is new about MUDRA and what are the gains?
If you ask me whether this kind of lending was taking place, yes, it was taking place to some extent, but not to the extent now we are seeing.
Sir, how many jobs has MUDRA created?
See, that is still, we are yet to make an assessment on that. In fact, I understand that Niti Aayog is making an effort to do that.
So we don't have a number right now?
We don't have a number right now, but then let me tell you one data which will give you some idea about that. See, out of this 7.5 crore loan accounts which had happened in the last 2 years under the Pradhan Mantri MUDRA Yojana, 2.25 crore loan accounts are new loan accounts. They are new enterprises, new loan accounts. I'm sure that must have really created some jobs in the country.